Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder to a realistic expectations on the dev block on the Kirov light cruiser, or shall I say, the Kirov light cruiser itself, the Baltic Fleet Warrior. I absolutely dig the looks of the ship. I absolutely love the idea of this going into War Thunder, and also I want to compare it to the Kalashnikov cast, to which it shares some similarities, but also differs quite a bit. So the dev block is quite interesting to read as it hints a few weaknesses and strength of the ship. The project class 26 and 26 bis include 6 Soviet cruisers, and we have the Kirov itself coming to War Thunder in patch 1.87. Good stuff right there. Furthermore, I absolutely love the photos and pictures. I absolutely love the artwork of Gaijin's 3D modeling department, or wherever the models are coming from. Furthermore, interesting here in this picture are two things. First of all, the torpedoes, which not get mentioned further, which is strange, and also the float plane, which I would love to see in the main researchable aviation tech tree to appear as well, because float planes are float planes and we need more memes. So aside from this, the major selling point are obviously the three triple 180mm gun turrets. That will bring probably the heaviest broadside to War Thunder, alongside with the USS Brooklyn, which has 15 6-inch guns. But when I talk here about the heaviest broadside, I also think that this ship might be able to deliver the most payload to the enemy ship in one salvo, more or less reliable. So yeah, the Kirov class, it looks amazing, and it is a little bit of history here, somewhere between a light cruiser and a heavy cruiser, because for light cruisers the maximum caliber is 5.1 inch, so the Imperial Japanese Navy's 155mm guns are the heaviest guns allowed in terms of sheer caliber on a light cruiser, and proper heavy cruisers are then equipped with 8-inch guns. So much for that. So the ship cannot really hold itself against a proper heavy cruiser, a treaty heavy cruiser that is, but versus light cruisers the guns are huge, and that is just the caliber of the guns. So it's an intermediate. When it comes to intermediate designs for tanks, planes, ships, you name it, the question is always, is it a good intermediate? Is it actually worth it? And noticeably here about the main armament, which shall be discussed by me here at first, is the Kirov could historically only achieve a very limited rate of fire. So very limited rate of fire with its main guns due to the turret design, and this will be reflected in game with the Kirov having a significantly longer reload rate than any existing light cruiser. I presume that it is any light cruiser in game. So with the longest reload that I could find is, again, the Kalashnikovkas, also equipped with 180mm guns, with single turrets that are more spacious, with a reload for a fully fledged and pimped out ace crew of 15.2 seconds. So what does this mean? The reload rate will probably look more into the region of 20-30 seconds, potentially even 40 seconds, and that then will kind of neglect again the broadside advantage that you have, because I already see where this is going when I remember all the fights and all the videos that I did on the Kalashnikovkas. A ship that per se I really like, but a lot of micromanagement has to be done, and you can really counterplay it. Especially when I think about the KMS Köln and the upcoming USS Brooklyn, together with all the existing light cruisers, how well it actually will do. I expect the HE shells to do tremendous amounts of damage, and also the armor piercing shot having huge amounts of penetration, having no issues going through any sort of armor, including doubled layers and double decks and also turtleback armor and just punch right through it and deal significant damage, because when we look at the Kalashnikovkas, the bursting charge on the AP shot deals more damage than a lot of the high explosive shells of other light cruisers, so keep that in mind. So the Alpha Strike is there. And that brings me to one of the videos that I did on the Kalashnikovkas. What is it with the secondaries? And we have only half of the 100mm potentially mini-teeny secondaries. But they still have a high rate of fire, they still are very precise, and they still deal kind of a lot of damage for their caliber. And they are dual purpose, so in anti-aircraft terms, they are able to shoot at aircraft and patrol boats, destroyers, you name it. The question is that now that they are housed here in turrets, how easy they are to take out, because they are also in a very narrow area, I'd say. So 40mm potentially will take them out. Talking about 40mm, we only have 7 45mm cannons, so no autocannons, and three, count them, 3 12.7mm heavy machine guns. There is no 20mm, no 37mm, no 40mm autocannon on this ship. And still, Gaijin says that Kirov's AA might be quite effective. Somewhat I doubt this. Maybe we see some Russian, secret document magic, and the 45mm together with the 100mm will receive proximity fuses with an unheard amount of precision from the autogunners. Then yes, so this is more on the long range side, but short range anti-aircraft, it's not this ship's strength. Going back to the main batteries, so we have talked about that we have 3 triple turrets. Their armor is 50mm. That is not a lot, but it's again a bit better than the KMS Köln, which is 30mm, but then again not so easy to hit, especially at range. Talking about range, how high is the muzzle velocity, and how precise are the salvos, so how accurate are the guns? I think when we compare it again with the Kalashnikovkas, very good at long range, but you just lack the DPM. And then if you range the if you estimate the range wrong, or the enemy ship makes a certain maneuver, then you will miss, and then the long reload. So it's more hit and miss, but it's not like with the British HMS Dido that you just pump on the shots and hit nothing. And again, the huge Alpha Strike being possible. So then we come to the armor of the ship, and potentially a huge drawback. Again, 50mm, and there you can see it in this picture. This is the 50mm belt going all from the waterline and lower to this end here to the rear turret. So that is a huge citadel, but there is again no mention of the deck armor strength if you have multiple decks, and no turtleback. And also here in the front of the ship going bow in, potentially a bad idea, because the shells might punch right clean through. And then the ultimate question is, where are the magazines? How deep are they buried inside of the ship? So are they right at the waterline? Are they huge? Are they very long? Or are they small and buried like with the HMS Dido right on the keel and just very deep in the ship? So this might then be a plus point for the ship. Maybe there are also some fuel tanks like with some of the Russian destroyers that can absorb a huge amount of damage and you still can go bow in. So a lot of theory. How it really works out, well, to be honest, it comes down to the map design. This is definitely a ship for long range, 5 kilometers to 12 kilometers, from spawn to spawn. So I think it is per salvo a very, very strong ship. And to bridge the long reload, you then can angle the ship, going slightly bow in, effectively making the armor thicker. But then at that range, plunging fire, I don't know. But the rear firing arcs seem to be good, according to some of the other pictures. So there we can see it. You might be able to fire like 60 degrees forward. We'll have to see, but this might then be very good to angle the ship. and to then just wiggle your way while you reload, then going bow in and throwing off the enemy's aim. And then when you're about to reload, to go into firing position again for that one salvo while you go towards the capture zone. At short ranges, the question is how long is, or how much time does it take to rotate the turret rotation speed basically. And again, one other factor is, next to the not really mentioned torpedoes, which are very well exposed, so you might hit them with a high explosive shell, then a good roll with the RNG dice from Gaijin, which has absolutely nothing to do with RNG, and then either they just go black and get damaged, or you explode. So you don't have enough torpedoes to make a significant torpedo pattern. They're a last resort thing for close quarters, but then they are highly exposed. I don't really know. I would just ditch them right at the start of the battle and try to play in such a way that I never get into close combat ranges. So the ship will do quite well, I guess, in trading at long ranges. The muster velocity, the precision of the guns, the alpha strike of the shells, it's all there. If you are used to the Krasny-Kavkaz and you like that kind of ship and you want a more modern version of it, this is the way to go. And it again is kind of this strange, odd ship design that the Russians bring. It kind of continues it from the Krasny-Kavkaz to the Krasny Krim, and then we have also here the Kirov. So not many big guns, long reload, then many small destroyer kind of guns, in casemating and mountings, and then again a really long range specialist, low DPM but big alpha strike. And a lot of the trade-offs, I'm not quite sure about the anti-aircraft capabilities when we think about the 5-ton bomb of the PE-8, when we talk about the Fritz X or even the Satans, the 1.8-ton bombs. The same then goes for the BTD-1 destroyer, torpedo bomber, or in general any sort of American plane being equipped with the Mark 13/44 torpedo. Yeah, the ship definitely is not the end of all other cruisers, and I think single firing, a lot of micromanagement, a lot of going back to the secondaries, the 100mm versus destroyers, is something that you really need to train. But the main guns are definitely really, really nice, and the satisfying alpha strike might just be the selling point of the ship. That's it with today's bonus video. This is now the realistic expectation. Again, it is nothing completely new to the game, but certainly a step forward. The battle rating, I assume, will be 5.7, and I think this might be also a ship as a glass cannon, when with the next patches we will see inevitably being tier 4 heavy cruisers being announced for then the upcoming patches. This is what I expect, but I have no proof of that. But I expect it, because this is just how War Thunder does it. We will never see ATGMs. Now ATGMs are there. We will never see air-to-air rockets. Now we have air-to-air rockets. We will never see this and that, and then patches later we saw it, and Gaijin just dropping stuff on it. Again, this ship falls and rises with the situations it gets thrown in. It is not an universal slaughter machine. It is certainly nothing that you can hope to win a fight versus a KMS Köln when you get surprised by it. The sheer DPM, the sheer precision of the KMS Köln, we'll have to see how this ship will fare against, as well as then I will be very interested to see how the USS Brooklyn will do with its overwhelming 15, count them, 15 6-inch guns. So that's it for me today with the realistic expectations. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts if this ship a realistic expectation video was helpful or not, and we'll see each other in the skies, on the battlefields, and on the waves of War Thunder.